how we speak and how we understand things and how we think is our system. My system is very different than your system because of the experiences that I've gone through in my life. And what I find fascinating about relationships is we will take two people from opposite ends of the earth, put them together, and they're attracted to each other, but then their systems don't line up. Their thinking, their speech, their understanding of love is different than the other person's speaking and understanding and thinking of love. And I guess the question that I want to ask all of us today is, do you have the courage to test your systems? What if today's the day that you do an internal check and be like, man, if things aren't working out relationally for me, if I can't, let's break the idea that today we're talking about married couples. We're not, because our lives are relationships. We were built for relationship. And some of us are really, really good socially, and some of us try socially, and we're not welcomed into certain social spheres. And today, I guess I just want to dissect and do some surgery into why are we not understanding love as it should be? We spend so much time, money, effort on how we present ourselves outwardly, but how much effort do we spend evaluating our speech or evaluating our understanding or our thought processes? Paul is saying to every one of us that if we're going to set up a defense to keep stuff out, we better be intentional when it comes to dealing with the stuff that's already inside. And what Paul is really trying to communicate is that healthy exchanges and receiving and giving of love has a direct correlation with your maturity level. You following with me today? This is okay? Okay. I'm going to assume that you're thinking, and that's why it's quiet. Are you at war with an immature inner self? What is stopping you from experiencing the fullness of the truest form of love that God has to offer in your relationships? Have you ever met somebody that constantly defends their dysfunction? And by dysfunction, I mean, you ever heard somebody say, well, that's just the way I am, take it or leave it, or that's just the way I talk. I remember watching an episode of Beyond Scared Straight. You remember that show? Where they take these adolescents and they throw them in jail just to really shake them up. And one of the episodes, this girl was in the car with her mom and she was totally disrespecting her. And she was swearing up and down all, the whole conversation. The mom looks at her and she's like, why are you like that? Why do you talk like that? And the teenage girl was just like, that's just the way I am. That's just the way I talk. You never heard that, no? Okay. With that in mind, I want us to ask the questions are you defending something that is killing your relationships? Are you at a point where you're this is me, and I need to defend this. This is who I am, and take it or leave it. I find that a lot of times that the conflicts in relationships are like that. Is well, you're not accepting me for who I am, and it's just, something's not right. First thing we need to identify is that our system, how we think, how we understand, and how we speak, is not us. Your system and your identity are two different things. Because if you always identify with your system, and the system is dysfunctional, you won't try to kill that system because you'll believe that it's killing you. And so you'll just be like, well, I'm just going to leave it then. Because somehow, for some reason, in how we behave and how we speak and how we understand and how we think, we always feel well, that's just me. It's and then we disregard the idea that could ever be changed or modified or improved. Do you have the courage today, if this is the issue, do you have the courage today to be you know what? What if me isn't working? What if how I speak and how I understand things and how I talk about things is the reason why I'm missing out on opportunities in life, is the reason why I'm missing out on relationships in life? What if me isn't working?